Hello everyone. Today will discuss the problems or exercises of the chapter motion in a straight line. You see, this is question number 2.1. You see how we are going to deal with all these questions, and we'll give the solution of every question here. Now here see the question is, this is the solution of this one, that is solution of exercise 2.1. You see here, in which of the following examples of motion can the body be considered approximately a point object? A railway carriage moving without jerks between two stations. The size of a carriage is very small as compared. So you see here, the size of the railway carriage is very small as compared to the distance between two stations. Therefore, the carriage can be treated as a point object, right? Here the answer of this answer A, question number A is, you have to write the size of a carriage, the size of a carriage, the size of a carriage moving without jerks, without jerks between two, without jerks carriage, or you can say the size of a carriage, you can change in this way, the size of a carriage, the size of a carriage is very small, is very small as compared to the distance, compared to the distance between two stations, between two stations, between two stations, between two stations. Therefore, the carriage, therefore the carriage can be treated as point object, as point object. This is a solution of question number A. Now question number B. What is question number B is given? Question number B is given that a monkey is sitting on top of a man cycling smoothly on a circular track. Here also you can see the size of the monkey is very small as compared to the circular track. So the size of the monkey is very small as compared to the size of the circular track. We can write the size of a monkey, the size of a monkey, the size of a monkey is very small, as compared to the size, of a circular track, You see, the size of a monkey is very small as compared to the size of the circular track. Therefore, the monkey can be considered as a point object, right? Therefore, the monkey can be considered. The monkey can be considered as a point object, right? And C is what is given is here. a spinning cricket ball that turns sharply on hitting the ground. A spinning ball. You see here the size of the spinning ball is comparable to the distance through which it turns. Right? So we can say the size of a spinning ball, the size of a spinning, the size of a spinning cricket ball is comparable to the distance through which comparable to the distance through which it turns sharply on hitting the ground, on hitting the ground. Since it is comparable to the distance, the size of the spinning cricket ball is comparable to the distance through which it turns sharply on hitting the ground. Therefore, we can say that the cricket ball cannot be considered as a point object. Hence, the cricket ball cannot be considered as point object. And D, what is given, that is a tumbling beaker that has slipped off the edge of a table. Here also you can see that the size of a beaker, the size of a beaker is comparable to the height of the table, height of a table from which it slipped, from which it slipped. Hence the beaker cannot be considered. Hence the beaker cannot be considered as a point object. So what we get from this, that if the size is comparable between the two things, one is the size of the object and the distance, if it is comparable, then it cannot be treated as point object. And if the size of the object is very small as compared to the distance, therefore it can be treated therefore the object can be treated as point object. Thank you everybody for watching this video.